Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppers. Today, joined by
Rauchmus.
Rauchmus. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I actually, there was a guy who I met at MBCC, and he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "I forgot, who are you?" He's like, "I'm the guy who named you." So nice to catch up.
Yeah, MBCC was a great experience. So much good beer, so many awesome people. It was so fun to be there pouring. Again, we've done it before, but this time I think it was much better because we also had some even better beers on. And some of the awesome things was getting to share it with brewers that we are really inspired by. So yeah, it was a fantastic trip. But Rasmus is up visiting, and we're sharing some beer, and we're starting off hard.
First of all, thank you for letting me in on your channel and sharing the beer. We went to Peter's basement, and I must say it's a pretty impressive basement. And Peter let me pick the beer. But yeah, when you see something from the project, it's difficult to pick. It's not difficult to pick. I'd say, yeah. So that's I'm really excited.
Me too. So this is a collab between Side Project and Phase 3, and this is Phase Rule, and they even got the bird on there that they use for their Unoya beers. And what are they called? They have Unoya and then something with M, which is kind of like BBT-esque. It's a blend of stouts in different barrels. I can't remember the name, but was released last year in 23, and it's a collab that they've been working on since 2019. So they came up with a recipe that kind of takes both of their interpretations of Imperial Stout, mashed it into one recipe, and then aged it in a blend of bourbon, cognac, and rye whiskey barrels. And cognac is something you've started to see being used more by some of these American brewers, and they're playing more with different barrels as they've grown instead of just bourbon, which I think is really nice. I was actually talking to Pulpit Rock, and they were like surprised that I thought the best beer they brought was 8 that was in apple brandy barrels, because most Americans are a bit iffy about apple brandy for some reason. Everyone just wants bourbon, and I understand. Like, bourbon is a safe bet, but I love the other complexities you can get from different barrels, especially if you blend.
Yeah, I think continuing to have bourbon in and then also using other barrels works really well, because if you just leave out the bourbon completely, you're often gonna think, should have had some bourbon. But when you use it sort of as an extra twist or dimension on the beer, it can work wonders.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So let's see how this pours. I mean, what you'd expect. It's really rich, and it's just opaque, pitch black.
And looks like not a lot of carbonation.
Yeah, it's a very small, bubbly kind of lace of a head. Not a lot of head retention at all, and not a lot of head when you pour it out. But I think a lot of these, it just stains the glass with brownish.
Yeah, it's oily.
Yeah.
Just like we like it.
Well, it looks nice. Let's check out the aroma. Yeah. And thanks to Beerdome for this one as well. I forgot to mention it. This was gotten on Beerdome. It's insane. We get Side Project once in a while in Europe now. Yeah. It's nuts. So thanks to Beerdome for the beer. Link for their shop is down below. They, of course, don't have more of this because this goes as soon as it's on there. But go on Untapped and follow them there, because often the beers will be, you can get notifications when they update their website. So they'll be like, pling, and then you'll get notified when stuff like this is released, because they don't announce it, they just do it. So
nice. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Well, let's check out the aroma. Oh, that smells really good. Oh, there is so much barrel. Like, sometimes I'm thinking, like, should I just be more into spirits? And then I drink spirits, and I'm like, I like this, but I think I'd like it more in a stout. I don't know
what you mean. No, the lower alcohol in some way gives it room to shine as well, because in spirits it's just the alcohol is sort of overwhelming in a way.
Yeah. But there's so much bourbon, but I totally get like cognac grapey vibes to it. There's some spiciness, but I think definitely bourbon is what's really, really shining. Loads of vanilla.
Yeah, and chocolate.
Yeah, it definitely encompasses that brownie batter thing you talk about when you talk about Side Project. But there's also like a little bit of dark fruit, like a slight raisiny or.
But that could also be the cognac, maybe.
Yeah,
something.
I think so. But also like tobacco and leather, like sweet pipe tobacco.
It's one of the best smelling beers I've ever smelled.
It smells fucking great.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar in ways to something like BBT. It's just with a slightly different barrel expression because of the cognac and whatnot. And I think maybe there's a pop of sing of sharpness, which might be the rye barrel that gives that like sing to it. But it's
almost even more pungent than BBT. Like there's so much power and so much going on and still just so very, very pleasant.
Yeah. It smells wonderful. Should we try it? Let's do it. Cheers. Thanks, Beerdome. Wow. What do you know? What it's really rich on barrel. Very charry. Wow.
Tobacco.
Loads of tobacco. But do you know what really surprises me? The aroma indicated like more sweet, chocolatey kind of vibes. It's more sharp and roasty, slightly tart, sourish, with lots of barrel. But also like the body is not as rich as some other side project stouts. It's not like a Black's body.
It has a little bit of I guess barrel acidity,
or just because there's a lot of roasted malts. And
maybe,
everything
but the balance point is a bit different. But it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's world-class barrel-aged beer. But it's not like when you try BBT for the first time, where you had to like completely like blown your socks off. I mean, when you try something like this, and if you tried BBT and whatnot already, you already kind of know what you're going into as well. So that initial first magical moment, you're never gonna get it back. No. But this is fucking dope shit. But I don't think it's my favorite side project beer.
No, I think Stout. The nose was some of the best I've tried.
Yeah,
and then on the beer, it's difficult to critique because it's still, for me at least, one of the best beers I've probably ever had.
Yeah.
But
it's just nitpicking.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely it's one of those experiences where the aroma is a little bit better than the flavor. Although the flavor is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little bit of a different story.
It's maybe a bit too cherry, too tobacco forward for me at least.
Yeah.
So
too charry.
Yeah. So it's drying out your mouth a little bit.
There's definitely a good amount of roasted malt. Like what sits on the back right now for me is like roasted maltiness and bitterness, barrel char and umami as well. But there's definitely some of that brownie batter vibe. But it's not like the same craziness that you get in a BBT where it's just like this is a liquid brownie batter with like loads of toffee and caramel and all these like bright sweet flavors. This has more density and more heavy nuances.
But in a way, I think it's a sort of a pleasant surprise because now at MBCC we got to try some beers as well, of course. And one thing I took away is that I think the American Imperial Stouts have become so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know if they become sweeter, but at least I was like, this is so sweet.
Yeah.
So drinking something like this is really refreshing as well.
Yeah, for sure, because a lot of it was too sweet. And especially the stuff with adjuncts was like, whew. And some of them were also so rich that it was like, this is like drinking syrup. Almost like this is cloying. And there's like, it seems like we're at a point right now where we're pushing Breweries so far. Like I also tried a beer. It was freaking awesome. But I've never had a stout that tasted so much of coconut before. It was from Three Sons. It was the most coconut forward beer I've ever tried. But there was so much coconut that it was almost like drinking a black coconut liqueur or something like that because it was also sweet. So it's like we're getting to some point with a lot of beer like this that is just like even crazier. Where I think like beers like this, there also needs to be some kind of balance. Then all beers that are world class amazing, some of the best is in their category balanced as well. Because something like BBT has insane balance between flavors and just goes up and down. This also has some good balance, but it goes a lot into the more heavy roasty, dark fruity, charred tobacco type like flavor.
But is that because I've actually never had a phase-free beer as far as I remember? would you say that that's the notes coming from them? Like this was a blend of their best Imperial Stout recipes. So I don't know. Have you reference points on Phase 3?
I haven't had much Phase 3. I mean, I've had some IPAs, and the stouts I've had from them has been stouts I had at MBCC. And I think reference points there does not count.
It's difficult.
Like, because you had like 5 or 10 centiliters, and you're also not
after a long day.
Yeah, and you're not sober when you drink it and whatnot. Actually, I tried one. Brad, a subscriber of mine. Don't know if you watch Brad, but hey, Brad, it was great to hang out and chat. But he shared a Unoya that was really good, but it was like a touch too much as well. Like, but that was much more modern than this, and that all that brightness and whatnot. It was with cinnamon, coconut, and something else. And that when he opened the bottle and we're going to pour it, nothing came out. Just like the coconut beer you have from Woolworths. So I had to like, and then like just get the plug out of coconut fat or oil, whatever that was congealed.
Case in point.
Yeah. Case in point. But I think this is awesome. In terms, there is also some bright flavor. There is some caramel fudgy notes, like dark, almost like a coffee fudge or something like that. And there's definitely also vanilla nuances and all that. But it goes really into like deep, dark flavors. Dark chocolate, espresso, dark chocolate covered espresso bean, dark cherry, cigar tobacco, and I said sweet pipe tobacco. It's more like charry, like a really intense, like some of the cigars you can get. I've dabbled a bit in cigars for New Year's. I'm no expert, but every time I've been like something that can handle its own with a big stout. And one year I got a cigar that was like almost black in color, where it was so potent and intense, like you needed something lighter to liven it up. So like a big barrel-aged stout was almost not a good pairing. It should be like maybe more of a sweet bourbon. And I'm getting vibes from something like this, like this really dense, dark tobacco kind of roasty type thing. And then like the barrel char and whatnot, but there's still caramel and vanilla kind of notes. Maybe not so much
this
coconut.
Cigar tobacco char, it really lingers in your mouth as well. It's like just goes on and on. And I must say, I really enjoy it.
I do. And it's funny, it also opens up a bit more as you drink it. Like I don't think right now it seems as abrasive on those kind of deep notes. Like the more lighter top notes are definitely there. I'm also picking up more of rye. Like the spiciness of rye whiskey, especially on the aftertaste right now. I think it's world class. I think I'm in the like 96.7 range with this one. It's above world class, but it's not like my favorite of beers I've had from Side Project. And again, I can't say too much about Phase 3 because I've had their stouts in festival scenarios. It could maybe go higher. I'm not sure if when it warms up or warms up just when we sit with it. But I think that like 97-ish is really good. It's like top tier beer, but it's not like the 9900 margin which BBT often is.
No, I agree. I was also thinking somewhere between 95 and 100. It's not the best Side Project beer, but it's pretty damn good.
It's pretty fucking amazing. It's funny, like, it's not the best. Like, it sounds like we're knocking it a bit, but it's just like, you should drink this because it's fucking great beer.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for me, it's, and I haven't had as many beers as Peter, but for me, I'd probably go home and thinking this is one of the best stouts I've ever had. So, really nice, really good stuff.
Amazing stuff. If you guys had a chance to get Phase Rule by Side Project and Phase 3 when it was on Beerdome, I hope you actually got it. Because it was, it's not a cheap beer, but it's definitely worth your while. And I think it's just insane that these beers are starting to be shipped to Europe. Like, it's just nuts. So check out Beerdome. Link for the shop is down below. They once in a while get stuff like this. They just recently had another American release with more Anchorage, private press. Like, we're just being crazily spoiled in Europe now. Yeah. Hype beer and distro. It's nuts. So yeah, if you guys had this one, let us know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos, and we're going to say cheers and some damn delicious barrel-aged beer. And see you guys in another beer review.